Thanks for joining this session about boosting user adoption of your business applications using the adoption readiness tool ART. My name is John Buteau. I'm the product manager for ART based out of the beautiful country of the Netherlands, 12 meters below sea level. So here's the agenda today. We're gonna show you 3 key ingredients for boosting user adoption and how to use ART to get it done. So we show you also ART in a demonstration. We talk about some customer success stories, and then we'll show you the Microfocus enablement and adoption approach after we can jump into some Q&A. Great. Go live is often considered as the biggest success milestone for any IT implementation project. But the reality is, after go live, the users often struggle to understand and adopt the new application and processes. That's not nice, and we hear it a lot from our customers. They're saying, please help us. A lot of software we purchased is shelfware. We need much higher user adoption rates. Processes keep changing. How can we rapidly document processes and train others? Our IT landscape is changing continuously, and we struggle to provide rapid and up-to-date enablement to our workforce. We need enablement for our whole organization, but can't send everyone to a classroom training. That would be way too expensive. So if we are digging down into some research that we can find on the internet, and you can see here that the user adoption is key to value realization of your software applications. You can have a perfect piece of software with great functionality, but if the people don't like it, if the people are not included, if the people are underestimated, if the impact to the changing activities of what people need to do in the organization is not taken into account, it will definitely fail because the user adoption will be way too low. So here we can learn today that some key ingredients to boost user adoption is 1, provide a structured onboarding. Number 2, have continuous enablement. And number 3, have quick access to support content. These are really 3 key ingredients for boosting user adoption with any application that you're using. So let's dig into this a little bit deeper, and let's look at a real customer situation that we have here. Many customers, for example, they have an obligation to demonstrate compliance against all sorts of rules and regulations externally, from, for example, government organizations, or also internally. So to be able to do that and show that you're compliant, show that your employees are in compliance, you need tests, you need trainings, you need compliance tests, and that is actually pretty time consuming to create that. If you don't use proper training tools like what we have here at Microfocus, you will lose many hours to create all of this, and it will become pretty dramatic. Also, if you look at all the changing applications, because process guides are extremely difficult to maintain against the background of constant change. And if you have then training courses related to those applications, then you can imagine how much work you need to do to get it all up to date. And there is actually a high demand for these types of structured training courses, run books, work instructions, and compliance tests, because the work field is constantly changing. We have different contractors coming in, contractors going out. We have staff is changing, new people are joining the company, existing people are leaving the company. So yeah, there is a high demand for structured onboarding. If you don't have the proper tools, this will lead to a huge amount of problems, as what you see here in the red exclamation marks. You will have out-of-date guides. You will have lack of training materials. Employees are wasting their time trying to find out how to do a certain task with a certain tool. They will start to ask questions to each other, like, do you know how this works? And yeah, in the end, you will probably run into a huge amount of how to support calls. And the support desk in general is not the quickest way to get what you need, if you're able to find the right person to provide you that piece of information. So what our customers are doing, they're using ART. They're using the Adoption Readiness tool to resolve this. The Adoption Readiness tool has an automatic capture engine to capture step-by-step processes from your screen. So you just use an application and you switch on the capture engine, and it can record the clicks and the steps and the keyboard strokes that you're performing to achieve something with that application. Great. This capture engine can also support instructions in over 33 languages. What I mean with instructions, every time you click on something, this capture engine will also generate a default instruction text. Like if you would click a button, it would say something like click the button XYZ, including the name of the button. And it will do that in the language of your choice. So it supports 33 languages. Right? You can even have multiple versions. So if you have done one capturing in English, you can then save your file, save it into another file, and then change the property settings into the other language. And then you have two versions of the same simulation, one, for example, in German and the other one in English, which is really great. We will see in the demonstration how that works. ART can auto-generate simulation-based hands-on exercises as a show me, try me, or test me simulation. That's really great. That saves us a lot of time. ART can also auto-generate job aids, so step-by-step instructions in different formats like MS Word or PDF or PowerPoint or HTML. And what is pretty new in the latest versions is that it can also publish it as a procedure table. If you have a larger project, you probably will have some testing department validating the requirements and testing the software. So if that is the case, then you could reuse ART as well to generate test scripts. Right, it's what you're clicking on, these instructions, the step-by-step training guides. They can also be exported as a test script, which can be uploaded and imported into any test management tooling that your testing department is using. ART can auto-generate product demonstration videos, including voice narrations. Really simple. You don't need any complex video editing software anymore. So just record with a capture engine your steps, what you're doing with your process, with your application, and then in the editor you can add some voiceovers to the different steps. Mission completed. Just publish and you have a product demonstration video. That's great because these simulations and these product demonstration videos is what you can include in a real online training course. ART has a what you see is what you get editor for creating online courses with multimedia content. Those videos you can include with just 2 mouse clicks in your training course. With another 2 mouse clicks, you have your simulation-based exercises included, and then you can create a couple of assessments as you want with different types of questions. And we'll take a look at that in a minute from now. We as Software Education, we have been creating a large amount of pre-built expert courses, and they are all around, of course, the Microfocus software solutions to boost the user adoption of the Microfocus software solutions. But you can also use ART for other applications or related applications if you like so. We can distribute with ART the content into any learning management system that you have. Most of our customers, they have a learning management system to track compliance, to track the status, whether people have completed certain exercises or certain training courses or have passed the validations and the test assessments and these type of things. So with ART, we support that you can export your content as a SCORM file, which is an international standard for learning management systems. You give it to a learning management systems administrator, and that person can upload it into your learning management system. And then you can, of course, assign it to any group, any department that you want, and start tracking if people have completed this course. Really easy. Actually, these SCORM files are generated by default when you use our publishing template and follow our standard installation process. These SCORM files are generated automatically. It is just a small zip file. So every time you click publish on something, then it will generate that SCORM file, that zip file for you. content, you can also distribute it as HTML, as an HTML web portal. So that's great because we've learned that providing on-the-job guidance and support is really important for everyone on the work floor. So with Art, you just tell Art, hey, here's my source to all of my content I created with Art. Can you generate an HTML web portal out of that? And Art will say, yes, I can. And then automatically, after some minutes, it will have generated this HTML web portal for you. And it's just a bunch of HTML files, static HTML files, including all the simulations that you have, all the course modules that you created, all the job aids, PDF files, and it will, it's all HTML. So you can then copy it over to your intranet, to your web server, and make it available for everyone in your company. That's great. So if you have this adoption readiness tool Art, it will resolve the pain points that we have listed down here on the left-hand side. Great. Let's watch a small video here.
Here's a fact. Recent IDC research has found that 80% of IT managers believe effective training is critical to the success of a project. Here's another fact. Kangaroos can't jump backwards. But back to effective training. We've created the Adoption Readiness Tool, but we like to call it ART. Well, it is beautiful. In essence, ART provides simulation-based training and support that is always available at your user's fingertips. These days, a one-off training program won't keep you at the forefront of, well, just about anything. ART allows you to start expert pre-built content and build from there to create your own multi-language, customized, self-paced material so your team is always ahead.
Yeah, really great. So let's have a look here at Art and how we are how we can reflect this to our initial key important ingredients for boosting user adoption. So it said that number one, provide structured onboarding, and we can do that by leveraging the Microfocus pre-built expert art content that we have created over the last 5-6 years over the Microfocus software solutions. And of course, you can also add your own content. You can create and generate your own content as well. The second point was to provide continuous enablement, and we can do so by using Art to create engaging multimedia online training courses. We've seen that we can include product demonstration videos. We have seen that we can include simulation-based exercises and assessments. So we can make a nice combination of a really good engaging multimedia online training course. Number three was to deliver quick access to support materials. And we've learned that Art can actually auto-generate an HTML web portal. And that's great because we can just copy it over to the internet of your customer or the web portal that's out there, the web server. And that means that everyone has immediately quick access to all the learning materials, the course modules, the simulations, and the job aids. So Art and to create adoption materials for your learners is actually a very cost-effective method. Imagine if you would have, let's say, 500 or 600 employees that all need to learn how SMAX is using within your organization or another Microfocus software solution. That would be far too costly to push everyone through classroom training courses. So of course you will enable the key users with classroom training. You will have some virtual sessions probably, and next to that you need Art, you need our pre-built expert content to be really cost effective. Available today, we have over 100 digital online courses and we have more than 30 pre-built Art content packs available. So let's dig a little bit deeper into an Art content pack. What is it? What does it contain? An Art pre-built expert content pack contains the art source files. So with the art editor, you can edit it and change it and enhance it. It contains also the SCORM files, the published SCORM files for uploading it into your learning management system. And it contains this published HTML support portal that we can copy over to the internet or the web server. So these the art software and the pre-built art content packs are sold as software licenses, including also software support. So as long as you have the software support, it means you can download also newer versions of art, but also newer versions of the art content packs. That's great because Microfocus Education is maintaining these art content packs to reflect major Microfocus software releases. So if you have bought, for example, the let's say ALM Octane content pack or the ArcSight content pack, and when a newer version comes onto the market of this ArcSight software, this Microfocus software, then we will assess that and we will add additional content to reflect this newer version of ArcSight. And then we'll make a newer version of that content pack available in the entitlement portal. So you can download that. As long as you have support on that content, you can download newer versions of the content. Great. So several samples of this art pre-built content packs are available on our website. So the link is here on the right hand side, www.microfocus.com/software/art. You then need to scroll down a little bit to the content samples. So here is an overview of these content samples. You can see we have a large amount of content in the ITOM space, from SMAX to OpBridge to network automation, to business analytics, UCMDB, asset manager, operations orchestration, to ADM related content with UFT, performance center, load turner, application lifecycle management, mobile center, etc., etc. And we have some content available as well in the security domain, like Fortify, Web Inspect. And we also have ArcSight available as well. Great. What we said already is that art can support multiple languages. So once you capture the process, you can change the property setting for the language if you like. And in that way, these the instruction text for each step will be generated in the language of your choice. So you're looking here on the right hand side at try me simulation based exercises that we auto-generated from capturing. And you can see here that it was in English, it was captured in English. It says here, click the training by product link. So that is the instruction that corresponds with the click that was done here. This is all auto-generated, and this is auto-generated in the English language. That can be changed quickly in the editor if you like, automatically. And then in the editor itself, we added some additional context text, like here we have a try me text box, and here we have another information text box. This is added, this has been added manually. Great. So let's have a look here at a sample of a course that we developed using art. So here, for example, we're looking at the ArcSight Logger 6.5 Basics training course, a sample of it. So we can only see just a few modules. The real course is much longer. And we're looking here at an HTML support website that was generated by art. So we just pointed art to the source files and say to art, and we mentioned to art, please generate a support portal from this, and this is what you then get. So module by module, you can then navigate through your course, and each module will show you automatically a launch button for launching the chapter, for launching this particular module. And you have direct access here to the simulations and the step-by-step job aid PDF guides that are part of this module, all auto-generated. It's great. So let's start here with launching this module. And this is the look and feel. We made it in blue in the Microfocus colors and Microfocus logo. Using the publishing template, you can change those settings and put in your own logo and your own colors. So when we navigate here from page to page, you can see that there's some text, there are some images, and you can also have some hover over options defined over your image to provide some additional text and information on some of it. Next to that, here you see here in the main menu at the top, there is a section for downloads, and in the downloads area you will find the corresponding job aid documents from the different simulations that we built into this course. And you find here in the menu structure also here a list of all the pages in this particular module. So what you'll see here is a different type of icon here with a mouse. So these are our simulation-based exercises. You can have as many simulation-based exercises as you want in each module. And I'm clicking here on this one, the second one. Yeah, so this is, for example, install logger using the console, and you can run it as a show me or a try me. And what is that actually? So I will use this one. If you run a simulation-based exercise as a show me, the process will be presented to you. The step-by-step process will become visible to you, and it runs automatically from one step to the next. And the interface that you will see here is at the bottom. There is some kind of time bar, automatically starts to run, but you can click in there if you want. If you want to navigate more quickly to a certain step in this process, you can do so by clicking here in this bar. And that's what I'm doing now here. See, then it jumps all the way to a next step. You can also navigate here through the restore steps part. So if I do that, for example, then you will see the steps like this, right? So, and you can navigate through the simulation like that. Here at the top of the steps window, you see here a printer. So if I would click there, I can even print this procedure on the printer if I would like to do that. Some people like to have some of these procedures on their printer. If you want that, then that is of course possible. And it will then print a short reference structure of this particular process on your printer. So here it's being generated. So what you see here, see, this is the short reference guide. You see here the instructions. And next to that, you see the button or the link where you need to click on, or you see here the command that you have to execute. All auto-generated by Art. Great. You can also launch it as a try me, and a try me is a hands-on exercise to gain hands-on skills with these different procedures using this software. What you will then see is that these red squared boxes is what you need to click on. You get here a short explanation, and this is the first action, and you need to click on this. But if I just would click on it like this, nothing happens. Or if I would click here outside of the red box, also nothing happens. I really need to perform a double click. So it recognizes the different types of clicks that you're doing, whether it's a right click or a left click or a double click. But it also recognizes the keyboard strokes. Like in this process, some command line stuff is also part of the process. So I now need to type in myself manually cd/software and then press enter to get to the next step. You see, I was just doing that on my own keyboard. But of course, if you're really a lazy learner, you can also click just here on the arrows, next, 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 and move yourself through it. Yeah, it's also possible. So that's a show me, that's a try me. We have several of those in each of the modules. And then at the end of the training module, the chapter, we will get an assessment to validate the knowledge that we gained during this chapter. And this assessment can have different types of questions, like it can have multiple choice questions, it can have drag and drop questions to put things into the right sequence, it can have a fill in a word question, it can have an image hotspot question, and it can have also a test me question. And in this case, it will test my knowledge about this particular process I was just showing you. So how will it work? Well, now it's a graded assessment, so it means every single click what I'm doing now will be monitored. So if I make a mistake, 1 point will be deducted. So let's be careful now what I'm gonna do. So let's click this away, and now you see no action elements are visible anymore. I just need to perform it myself. So if I click anywhere randomly, it will come up here like your response was not correct. Would you like to have assistance? Oh no. Let's try it one more time. I remember I need to do a double click on PuTTY. Yeah, that worked, you see. And then I had to click here on this IP address. Yeah, that worked. And I need to click here on open. Yeah, that worked. And I need to do here cd/software and press enter. Yeah, that worked as well. And now I'm stuck, right? So if I would now click somewhere, it would come up with this. Your response is not correct. Would you like assistance? Yes, give me assistance. And then you see, aha, the action comes up again. So I can then follow that. And this is how you follow through a test me. You can have as many test me's as you want in each course module. And once you're done, you arrive at your scoring page. You see, I still need to practice a little bit more. In the downloads area, what I said, you find here the corresponding PDF job aid. So if I click on this one, I will get the one that I was using in this example. So this is the auto-generated job aid document of this particular process, install logger using the graphical interface. So if I scroll a little bit through that, you would see here the same screenshots and instructions as what you have seen before. Double click the PuTTY icon, click here this IP address, and then we're clicking on the open button, and then we would click here on this command, make a command, right? So this is how a job aid guide will look like. Great. So let's exit from this course module. Then we arrive back in our support portal that is auto-generated by Art. And also from each of these chapter pages, you can then launch any simulation you like directly from here without having to go into the course module. Right, this is really handy for people who have followed already the whole training course and are now working with the tool, and they need to get then they need to find some support information around the process or the step that they're working on currently. So they need to have very quick access to exactly that particular step where they are lost and where they need to gain a little bit knowledge about. Right, and that's possible here because these simulations and also job aids, you can launch them up from outside of this training course, and you can very easily navigate to them, so you can also very quickly find them. Yeah, that's how it works. Great. Great example. Let's have a look at another example. So for example, here we're looking at a document that was created by Microfocus, by the operations department. And this document is describing how to combine consultancy services together with software licenses that we sell to our customers, right? So there's a whole process to make a statement of work, right? And to combine these two flavors into one statement of work. So it's quite complex. It contains different elements from logging the opportunity to order validation to project creating, invoicing, tracking units, project maintenance, etc., etc. So pretty complex type of thing here. And what they did here is that they actually used art in describing some parts of this complex business process. So it's organized in different sections is what you see here. And each section has different line elements, and each line element is referring to either a document somewhere on the SharePoint or an Excel sheet or some other reference materials. But in many cases also here, art simulations are being referenced. And in this case, these simulations have been created and put on a web server. And yeah, with just this document was created with Word. And behind this text was put a link, a URL. Very simple. Anyone can do that, right? So if I would click there on that link, it would automatically open up that particular simulation, that exact simulation that explains me this piece of the process. In this case, logging an opportunity in Salesforce. It will show me you need to click on opportunities. I need to click new. Right, I can follow exactly how I should do that if I'm not familiar with this part. So very visual, very, very handy. And this is how we also use art internally, next to making, of course, all sorts of boot camps about different software solutions. Great. We also have been using as well art to create our online courses, our digital online courses. They're hosted from our own learning management system, and I can launch one of them here, for example, from my account page. So you need a URL, username, and password to be able to launch our online courses, and they also have been created with art. And most of these courses, we call them digital courses because they have a voiceover to it as well. They have a voiceover over the different pages in the course, and that's really great because then you have an instructor talking you through the different pages of the training course. And most of these course modules, they also contain product demonstration videos and simulations, and you will then have a voice over to that as well. Yeah, and it's of course the same GUI again, what you see here. But now I have voice narration on every single page and on every single show me. Great. So this is our digital course. It's just a small example. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we make a small demo with the capture engine, and we'll start to create some content ourselves now. So this is the art editor, and I'm gonna launch a new capturing, and we're gonna capture our own process. So we give it a name. We select the type recording. We save the content that we're generating here under C Art Source on our local desktop. We have a default publishing template connected to it with our Microfocus logos. And then it will start to work to get the capture engine launched. So let's wait for that for some seconds. And in my demonstration, I will just take a kind of a random process, or just click a few things on my desktop. But in real life, you would, of course, have to launch your target application, bring it to the point from where you would like to start the capturing on a real process that you need to document or for which you want to build a training course. Right? So here's the capture engine. I'm clicking here on the record button. Now the recording is active and now it starts to capture things. So let's say I'm clicking here on this desktop icon. Let's wait a few seconds, see what happens. Yeah, see, click the control, that worked. It is, by the way, not capturing any time in between that I'm talking or drinking coffee in between of my clicks. It is just only recording the exact clicks that I'm doing or the keyboard strokes, right? So now I'm double clicking on this one to launch certain application, let's say. So let's wait until this application is launched. It has detected a double click on that item. That worked as well. This application is launching. So all the time that this application is busy launching, it is not being tracked or traced or recorded in art, right? Art only becomes active when you click on something or when you type something on your keyboard. Great. So let's assume the next step is clicking this thing away. And let's assume the next step is clicking in this field and then typing in some text and pressing enter on the keyboard. Let's assume that that was the process that I had to record. In real life, of course, your process will be longer, but all of this was captured. And for the purpose of the demo, we keep this a bit short. Let's click on stop. close the target application, and then we wait for the art editor to show us the steps that were captured. Right, here it is. So if something is slightly off position, you can always change that a little bit if that is needed. Yeah, most cases this will be perfectly done. And then we have here, click on FileZilla. You see that is all fine and okay. And if you want, you can move these text elements around if you like that. And here's a click on the close. That is also perfectly done. Here's a click on the host field. And then we were typing in John. Then we were pressing return on the keyboard, and then we reached the end of the lesson. Great, all captured in a nice way. So let's assume you need to clarify something about some of the steps, or you would like to provide an introduction text or something to the learners that are taking this simulation. We can go to the insert menu, and we can then add a note. A simple text note, for example, right? So here you have a note, you can drag it anywhere you like, and then you double click in it to write something in it, right? You can write down anything you like. You can also format it with bullet points if you want, and put it anywhere on your screen. Great. If you were planning to use this source to publish later on a video from this, then you might want to have voiceovers to it, right? Or if in general you want also with the simulations a voiceover to be heard, then we need to record our voice with it. So let's go back to the home part, and then here you see audio and record. So if I would click there, I can immediately record my audio, or I can also transcribe each step first and type in the text that I would need to say on each of the steps, right? If you don't have a perfect voice, you could also then give it to your neighbor or someone else in your company who would then use art and a proper microphone setup and a silent room, preferably, to record the voice narrations. And it works really simple. Just click here on record and then talk your way through what you have to say for this particular step. Blah, 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 blah. Click stop, listen to yourself. Ah, that sounds pretty cool. Click stop and next one. Or you re-record yourself if you made a mistake. And now I have added a voice narration to that step. And this is how you can continue with the next steps as well if you want that. Let's assume you're then done with the editing and you're ready to get this thing published into different flavors. So let's select, for example, before we're going to do that, let's change the language. I want to show you how easy it is to change the language. Very simple. By going to document properties, you can change here the language into anything else. Let's say, for example, we could choose here something like Nederlands. I'm from the Dutch Low Country, 11 meters below sea level. Let's change it into Dutch, because I also have some operators that are Dutch and they only are talking Dutch. They have no clue about English and they need to have the learning and support materials in Dutch. Well, great. Here it is. Klik op een besturingselement. Dubbelklik op het keuzelijst item. Klik op de knop close. You see, all in Dutch. Or maybe you need to have it in German. Also fine. Just select here and this drop down box to German. We have some German colleagues here in the session. And click on yes. And now it starts to translate all these auto-generated text in German. You see, klicken Sie auf die Schaltfläche. Klicken Sie auf das Textfeld Host. You see, it's all German. So in this way, I can create a multi-language training course. I can click here, File, Save As, and then I save it as another file, and then I have one in English, another one in German, and another one in Italian, for example, right? And then I combine all of that into one training course. So what is not getting translated is the additional text that I've put up here, you see? That is something you need to translate yourself. Okay, let's quickly put this back into English because it's a little bit confusing. It's German language to me. Back to English. Yeah, we're back to English. Okay, now we're ready to publish. Okay, let's publish this thing. Publish current. And here's the publishing menu. We have selected here the show me and the try me to get published, the job 8 PDF, You could also do it in Word if you like, if you need to continue editing on the content. We are publishing as a test script, procedure table, and a video, and it all is published out to my local drive under C Art Output. Let's publish this thing. So it starts to generate here the simulation, the show me and the try me, but exactly the same look and feel and interface as what you have seen before me demonstrating, because it's using a publishing template and it generates automatically all the controls for you. It's generating here the job aid PDF document with our logo at the top. And using the publishing template in Art, you can also change that logo and change these colors if you want. In the editor, you just open up the publishing template and you can change these images and the wordings and colors to reflect your company. And as the last one, it's now publishing the video, the product demonstration video, because I was planning to create a training course in which I would like to have a product demonstration video followed by a show me, try me simulation. And then of course, other content as well and more processes like that, followed by an assessment. So therefore I'm generating here also the video. No video editing skills required anymore. You've seen me doing it. You don't need any video editing tools. It's just art. And here's my summary. So this is the publishing summary. Let's click first here on simulation. And let's launch the simulation. This was the previous one that I demonstrated. It's now currently loading the new screen. So let's wait for that. And there it's coming. There it is. So we can launch here the show me, or we can launch the try me, depending on what you want. So this is the process we just captured. And now here the voice narration for this step that I recorded with my voice. That's the double click on FileZilla. And you see the whole interface is exactly the same. I can click here in this toolbar if I want. I can click restore steps. I can click pause, back and forward. It's all here. It's all being auto-generated for you. Great, that works perfectly. Here we have the PDF job aid step-by-step document. And you see here it's visible with the different steps. Yeah, scroll down a little further. See, here's the first screenshot. With the first click the control Google Chrome and the additional text that we typed in. And this is the second step, the double click on the FileZilla icon, then click on the close button, etc, etc, etc. You see, click the host, and then as final step was type in John in that host text box. All perfectly documented, all auto-generated for you. Great. Here's also the Excel test script. So if you need to reuse this content and upload it in a test management tooling on your project, then that's fine. This is an Excel test script that you can use for that purpose. You see all the steps are here. And this is the procedure table format PDF document. So it's a 3-column document with a step number, controls you need to click on, and a part of the screen where you need to click, called the procedure table. And this is the MP4 video file with the voiceover. See, it looks the same as you show me, but this is a real video file. Great. So we can use all of this content and bake that into a nice online training course with art. Great stuff. Was really simple, right? Okay. So some benefits of art. It's increased user adoption. Art boosts user adoption and provides an engaging simulation-based training. Art supports continuous enablement and making it easy to update, and it's available anytime, anywhere. Start with our pre-built expert content to cut training development time up to 80%, and then you can just customize it to reflect your local implementation. Well-trained users maintain high competency level, make fewer errors, need less support, and work much more efficiently than anyone else. If you're a partner, then here are some partner benefits as well. You can sell art and the art content packs as software licenses with the same partner reselling benefits as any other Microfocus software. You can then also sell art customization services to create additional content for your customer, or to enhance the pre-built expert content that the customer bought, or to even translate content if you want. Or you can use also art for yourself as partner to provide enablement content to your own employees. Great. Some art customer success stories. We have over 500 art customers already. Here are a few of them in this slide. We have several customer testimonials like this Jacob Helbo Christiansen. He's the service delivery manager from TDC, and they've used art to provide continuous enablement on 1500 ppm users. Here we have Charles Hubert from the University of Pretoria. They're rolling out a lot of changes in the organizations, and they need to train their employees, not the students, but in this case we're talking about the employees of the University of Pretoria. And this guy was spending 4 or 5 months of his year in classroom training sessions to train his employees, his people in the organization, about introducing new features and services and software and upgrades. And now with art, he has saved 3 months of all of that. He has saved 3 months of time, because now he's creating training content using art. That's really great. Here we have an example of a customer who has bought Fortify software. They have over 1,000 application developers. So imagine you have to develop and deliver only classroom training sessions for that. It's far too costly. It's impossible. Of course, you will train the key users in classroom training sessions. You will have virtual training sessions with larger groups, but then it's also really great to have hands-on skills developed by using art, and support materials available as well, using the simulation-based trainings that we have available here in this case for the Fortify software. So the customer bought art and Fortify Web Inspect pre-built content pack, and also the corresponding SCORM files are uploaded into their learning management system for tracking compliance and completion rates on these mandatory training courses. So really great. And this is another example with a German large car manufacturer, and they recently bought the Octane software, and they needed corresponding enablement for their software development project teams. So they bought art, and they bought the art ALM Octane pre-built content packs. And they also have started to use art now to create some additional content next to the standard pre-built expert content that we already created. And also this customer is uploading the content into the learning management system. We have much more examples. It's a bit too much to talk about all of them. So we need to move over to the next topic. Let's talk a little bit about the enablement and adoption approach from Microfocus software education. When we need to enable larger groups of learners, we need to identify the key users in that group, and we need to deliver solid instructor-led courses to those people, where 50% of the time people work with the software and use a lab guide to complete all sorts of exercises on that software solution. Next to that, we deliver to the larger amount of people online courses and exams hosted from our own learning management system. Next to that, we can use art. We can sell art. We can sell the pre-built expert content packs, and the HTML performance support web portal that art has auto-generated can be copied over into the intranet of the customer. When you buy a pre-built content pack, that support portal is already there. It's a zip file. You unzip it and you copy it over to your web server, and you have immediately access to all the online courses and the assessments and the simulations and the PDF job aids. That's really great. That's a great start. Next to that, you can of course also upload the SCORM files into the customer learning management system. And usually it happens for the mandatory courses and exams. So that's how we use art as well in this Microfocus enablement and adoption approach. We're from Microfocus Software Education. We're experts in enablement and adoption. You can contact us and we can help you to boost user adoption for your business applications. These are the different flavors that we have just seen. What is good to remember is that when you buy an instructor-led course, also the corresponding online course is being delivered to you as a student as well for a whole year. So we have for a whole year access to the corresponding online course available. You need to remember that training courses, exams are all paid in training units, and the art developer kit and the art content packs is sold as software licenses. Great. What we learned today is that we've seen the key ingredients to boost user adoption. And that was number 1, provide structured onboarding. Number 2, generate continuous enablement. Number 3, deliver quick access to support content. And we've learned and have seen that we can do that with the adoption readiness tool art. It's simple, it's quick, it's really fast and clever. Raised user adoption is the best indicator for software success. 80% of IT managers, they realize training is critical to project success. 1 hour of training saves 5 hours of lost productivity. 24% higher profit margins in companies with comprehensive trainings, and untrained users need 6 times more support than any other untrained user. This is great. You can now start to use the Adoption Readiness Tool Art to boost user adoption for your business applications. To learn more about art and visit our product homepage on microfocus.com/software/art and learn more about our software education portfolio. Please contact us, request a trial license, and you can try out art yourself and see how quick and easy it is to generate simulation-based training content. Contact us today. This is the EMEA team. Perhaps you know already a couple of people in here. Or you can contact the APJ team. Or if you're from the Americas, you can contact people from one of the regions in the Americas. This is some more reference information that is part of the PDF that we will send to you. So work smart, start using art.